Hello and good afternoon. I welcome you all to the Alpha S Academy special series, and this series is about the Sustainable Development Goals. And we shall discuss today about SDG 5, that is Sustainable Development Goal number 5. Now, what does SDG 5 tells us about is about gender equality. It says that we have to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls, which is the need of the day. तो इसके 6 टारगेट हैं, फिर ए बी सी है. क्विकली देख लेते हैं क्या क्या टारगेट्स हैं. फर्स्ट इज एंड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन against women and girls and all violence against and exploitation of women and girls, eliminate forced marriages and genital mutilation. Now genital mutilation is a very bad practice. Just go and see what they do in it. It's a very shameful practice in a very developed and civilized societies today. Still these kind of practices are still being practiced. Value unpaid care and promote shared domestic responsibilities. मतलब भाई घर का खाना बनाना या हाउस होल्ड वर्क है, उसे लड़का लड़की दोनों शेयर करें, चाहे वो भाई बहन हो, चाहे वो हस्बैंड वाइफ हो, चाहे वो कपल्स हों, चाहे कुछ भी हों. दे शुड शेयर द डोमेस्टिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़. एंड देन नेक्स्ट इज एंश्योर फुल पार्टिसिपेशन इन लीडरशिप एंड डिसीजन मेकिंग. Universal access to reproductive health and rights. There are two kinds. That is reproductive health, that is after you are you have conceived the baby, and then there is something called as reproductive rights, that you want to have the baby or not. It should be the choice. It should not be forced upon someone. Then equal rights to economic resources, property ownership and financial services. Promote empowerment of women through technology, adopt and strengthen policies and enforceable legislation for gender equality. Now this series is more about data, so I'll just quickly read all the data, and where it is needed I'll explain you. Okay, where the world stands in gender equality, violence against women, that is 18% of every ever partnered woman and girl aged between 15 to 49 have suffered from physical or sexual partner violence. Now this is a very sad state. 75% of detected victims of trafficking for sexual exploitation who are trafficked are female. मतलब 3 out of 4 child or any person of any gender who was trafficked is a woman. Sad state. 77% of women have access to bank accounts as of 2017. Then the right of choice. Almost 750 million women and girls alive today were married before their 18th birthday. And it is even, in fact, in India it is against the law. Then fair and equal treatment. Women earn only 77 cents of every dollar that man gets for the same work. जो जेंडर पे गैप है वो भी अभी भी आज भी बहुत प्रिवलेंट है. इनफैक्ट हमारा बॉलीवुड इंडस्ट्री है, हॉलीवुड इंडस्ट्री, आप देखते हैं वहाँ पे कितना अभी भी मेन सेंट्रिक वर्क है. मेंस को ज़्यादा पिक्चरें मिलती हैं, उनको ज़्यादा पे मिलता है, उनको ज़्यादा पैसा कमाते हैं रादर देन देयर फीमेल काउंटर पार्ट्स. 1 in 3 or 35% of women have experienced physical or sexual violence in their life. Women represent just 13% of agriculture landholders. Now talking about the political representation, only 24% of national parliamentarians were women as of November 2018, a small increase from 11.3% in 1995, and we are talking about the world as of now. क्विकली आफ्टर थोड़े टाइम के बाद अभी हम इंडिया की हालत भी देखेंगे. 49 कंट्रीज करंटली हैव नो लॉज प्रोटेक्टिंग वुमेन फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस. अभी 49 कंट्रीज अभी भी ऐसी हैं जो जहाँ पे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के अगेंस्ट कोई लॉज नहीं है. नाउ वेयर इंडिया स्टैंड्स इन जेंडर इक्वालिटी, सेक्स रेशियो 899 फीमेल्स पर 1000 मेल्स. ये रिवाइज हुआ है अभी. विल गेट बैक टू यू वंस वी गेट द ऑफिशियल फिगर्स. Violence against women, for every 1 lakh female population in India, about 62 cases of crime were reported in 2019. This is not our record, it is NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau record. Then domestic violence, NCRB reports that for every 1 lakh female population, 20 have experienced cruelty, physical violation by husband or his relatives in 2019. Wage gap among regular employees, the average wage salary earned by females is only 3/4 of that of males among regular wage salaried employees for the period of April 18 to March 19. अभी भी सब अपने आप को बाहुबली समझते हैं. Then family planning, according to National Family Health Survey for 2015-16, 72% of the demand for modern methods of family planning currently wedded women aged 15 to 49 years में है was met in India. ठीक है, मतलब 70 फिगर ठीक है, लेकिन फिर भी ये 100% होना चाहिए, है ना. उनका जो डिमांड है वो मेट किया जाना चाहिए भाई. उनकी इट शुड बी देयर चॉइस. इनफैक्ट इट शुड बी अ कंसेंसस कोऑर्डिनेटेड डिसीजन and it should never be forced on anybody. Women in leadership, on an average 8.46% of seats in the state legislative assembly were held by women. मतलब हमारा political representation तो और poor है world के according. Then female labor force participation, the ratio of female to male LFPR in country stands at 0.33. मतलब अगर एक मेल एम्प्लॉयड है तो उस पर 0.33, मतलब 3 में से एक ही फीमेल काम कर पा रही है. Then operational land holding, according to agricultural census 2015-16, the percentage share of female operational landholders has increased from 12.79% in 2010-11 to 13.96% in 15-16, which is still far from desirable. Now why it is this is, I'll tell you something. I go to courts and I see what happens is you get a rebate in stamp duty if the land is purchased in the name of a woman. Like I'll tell you, in case of Uttarakhand it is 3.75 for women and 5% for men. Now to save this difference, men, what they do is they get the sale deed registered in the name of woman, then take a power of attorney from her. So at the end of the day it is the men only who are holding the lands, and this data can be misleading sometimes, so you cannot totally rely on the data. Now quickly we'll do a एनालिसिस कि इंडिया का क्या पोजीशन रहा है, इंडिया में कैसे. तो इनफैक्ट इंडिया में इक्वालिटी दी जाती है वुमेंस को, और ये हम नहीं देते. इट्स द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया गिव्स इट अंडर इट्स प्रीएम्बल, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, एंड ऑल्सो अंडर द एक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिटी. इनफैक्ट इंडिया इज सिग्नेटरी टू अ नंबर ऑफ यूएन कन्वेंशन लाइक कन्वेंशन ऑन एनिबिलेशन ऑफ ऑल फॉर्म्स ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन अगेंस्ट वुमेन, Beijing Platform for Action and Convention on Rights of the Child, where the nation's commitment to protect and empower its women and girl is evident. In fact, India has done a very big, मतलब अच्छे हमने इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं, अच्छी स्कीम्स लाई हैं. लाइक हमने सेलेक्टिव अबॉर्शन को रोक दिया PCPNDT एक्ट से. एंड चाइल्ड मैरिजेस एंड सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट एट वर्क प्लेस आर बीइंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड बाय विशाखा गाइडलाइंस. देन प्रोग्राम्स लाइक बेटी बचाओ एंड बेटी पढ़ाओ, awareness campaigns in states focus on the changing minds of the people towards India. And believe me, there has been a change in people towards the girl child, and it's a very happy moment, but we need to go more further. However, discrimination against women in India remains a deep-seated issue despite various policy and legislative reforms being undertaken at all levels. Thus, one of the main areas of concerns are rise in violence against women. ठीक है, जो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के केसेस हैं वो बहुत बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. होता पहले भी था, रिपोर्टिंग अब ज़्यादा हो रही है. नाउ दे गो एंड गेट देयर राइट्स इन प्लेस. दस फॉलिंग फीमेल पार्टिसिपेशन इन द लेबर फोर्स, जो कि 23.7% है, बहुत पुअर है. एंड डिस्पाइट वेरियस एफर्ट्स वुमेन ट्रीटेड एज अ सेकेंड क्लास सिटीजन. नाउ दैट्स अ वेरी सैड स्टेट. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई पीपल think like that, and if they think like that, they should not. World Economic Forum 2019 report that the world is 100 years away from complete gender equality. That means whoever is seeing this video may or may not be able to see that complete gender equality in their lifetime. Sadly, Indian gender gap ranks behind many developing countries. In fact, we are very down in that ranking, and the report by World Economic Forum that sees this gender gap is Global Gender Gap Report. That is called Global Gender Gap Report, GGP. Now we'll just quickly conclude that women empowerment is a precondition to achieve the targets of several sustainable development goals. मैंने क्या बोलता आपको, मैंने पहले ही बताया कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स सब कनेक्टेड है. जब एक पे आप वर्क करेंगे तो सब, अगर एक पे पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट आएगा तो सब पे पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट आएगा. कहीं एक नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आया या कहीं पे नेगेटिव चीज़ हुई तो उससे और चीज़ जगहों पे भी नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आएगा. 10 It is a precondition to attain sustainable development goals like poverty eradication, inequality, good health and well-being for all, decent work and economic growth among others. Providing women and girls with equal access to education, healthcare, decent work and representation in political and economic decision-making processes will fuel sustainable economics and benefit society and humanity at large. ठीक है. Gender equality is rightfully an urgent mandate for all, as no society can develop economically, politically, or socially when half of its population is sidelined, and this is a universal reality. Believe me, to achieve true, inclusive, and sustainable development, we must leave no girl behind, and we should create a condition, an environment for them to excel. We are nobody to take them up or to bring them down. Rather, all of us should work together to create an environment where nobody, in fact, no girl and no boy is left behind to explore his or her full potential, and we should create a more equitable society in terms of political equality, economic equality, and social equality. And thus, will conclude for day. I hope you all are doing good. Thank you for watching. Take care of your health. Keep smiling, and we shall see you tomorrow. Take care.